No, but that's it. That's if somebody stop his mouth. Somebody stuff his mouth with so much lies. He will die with it.
I mean, it's really provocative, but I mean, not
is it not me that's saying that they will die with their lies? If I start talk lie, I will die with my own lie. If I say now, you say, for how many months now, how many weeks I've been talking about deadlock? Eventually, yesterday newspaper said,
absolutely,
and they think it will not deadlock.
Absolutely.
And they think it will not deadlock. They'll go there, drink tea and coffee for months, collecting allowance, sitting allowance, talking nonsense. The SANU will be, from the check-off duty, dues, they will be going for attending, flying to Abuja for deadlock talks. You know already before you fly from the location that you will know you deadlock. You still fly at the cost of SANU to go there and talk deadlock. But that's one thing we tell them. You open your eyes, go for deadlock. Deadlock. You'll be deadlocked.
Oh.
I just want to tell you, Nigerians are fantastically corrupt people. See, only this morning I now realized that even the people who are going to negotiate on behalf of federal government do not have their children in Nigerian university. So it does not concern them. Even the senior staff association officials who may go might not have their children in the university where they teach. So who are they negotiating for?
Actually, they are saying they will call it off strike when their members receive alert.
That's a very big way. You say when you are talking to a person that is an albino, sorry, without no stigma, you say you're talking to an albino, better hold his head. So that you know when you're talking to, you know the one that they agree and the one that is refused. Because you know when you're talking to albino, you do like this. You won't know what you're saying, whether the one you agree and the one. Federal government has brought Nigeria to a point where they're distrust. And what SANU and NASU has told them is a very clear way. I wish ASU has been telling them this, not to go home. 4 years, 2009, we're still talking about the agreement between us. If ASU will say, let's see alert, then we know you are making good our agreement. You don't, it's not every day you go and tell a woman some things to deceive her and have your way. Every day you come and they tell her stories that have your way. There are days you come and the woman will say, you have done this several times, so money for hand, back for ground. For whatever that means, I think SANU has understood the government they're negotiating with. They say, alert in our bank account of our members, the school opens, case closed. Whether you deadlock talks from here to heaven.
These are arrears that, I mean, happened in the 4 months arrears that the federal government is owing them. So I think that the only way out is just basically the government pays that money, or maybe come to an agreement as to how to pay the 4 month arrears that they're asking for, so that we'll be back to normal.
Withdraw tax reform bill, you know.
Next.
Some people say, some newspapers said tax reform has been withdrawn. And some said withdraw, they're still asking for. Somebody said the federal government has withdrawn tax reform. One of the newspapers, I can't remember which one.
The presidency to withdraw controversial
no,
tax
they said that one, but there's one that said they have withdrawn.
Yeah.
One of the newspapers here said. But the idea is that he appeared in all the headlines, meaning there are people in Nigeria who, when they talk, I salute the northern governors when it comes to pursuing issues that affect their own people. And then if they can get the federal government under pressure to withdraw tax reform they started. And every policy you're taking is not against them, and then the tax reform bill is withdrawn. Hey, wonderful. Wonderful. Meaning, what has happened to all the one we've been crying from other regions of Nigeria? Is it that those their own is Ofenkup? You can do without them. Yes, because what it means is there are some groups in Nigeria who come, you look at their what interest and the larger interest. And you now Okay, it's not to the best interest of government to do this, but because the people, you cannot cut somebody's hair at his back. The person must sit down comfortably in the barber's rotating chair, and we're talking and gisting and you're cutting, and it be an agreement. You cut, no matter how good your policies are, you remove flare from a dog without showing dog saying a flare you remove, it go bite you. But as far as federal government is concerned, they've removed flare from the northern governors and they showed them and even apologized. That's wonderful. I wish the federal government and Asoro could be doing it with other regions of Nigeria, so that other regions will not look like, so others will talk and get to this level of appeasement. Our own is like, forget them. Once this kind of equity and approach is applied to all regions of Nigeria, there will be peace in Nigeria. And we can comfortably sit down and say, we are one Nigeria. When that doesn't happen, all these bits and pieces of call for secede, call for this will keep coming. That almost all the tribal groups in Nigeria are not happy with Nigeria. No, might be issues why. But the way the person at the center who controls, handles their matter, is what will make them to have interest in the mega picture and then still bear sacrifice to be there. But when you do not appreciate them, when you do not recognize them, when you do not even talk with them and empathize with them and see what they're seeing and find a way of talking to them, it means you are running on your own. So whatever you get, you take. That's a countryman language talk that say, if you do anyhow, you see anyhow. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
But a sad story of 80-year-old landlord who lost 5 grandchildren in one building collapse. What will Nigerians tell this kind of? But the 80-year-old person, that building would have had some technical issues if it's the landlord or land. So, and where were the councils, local government council that collect tenancy levy, or the state government that were collecting tenancy levy from structurally deficient building? It was a bomb waiting to explode until they explode. And look at the sad, the sad situation of an 80-year-old person looking at 5 grandchildren.
Wow.
Gone.
Devastating.
With 16 others who might be tenants or extended or nuclear relations. I know how bad a setting is.
And looking at the building is pretty looking old.
It must be. For an 80-year-old person, a building that he was probably inherited from his father or mother, a family building, and this now the landlord, and they do this. But what happens, I will say this happens, there are too many houses collapsing in Nigeria, small Nigeria, with too many collapse of buildings. And every day in newspaper headlines, we see one case. And nobody is talking about it. And these lives of Nigerians being lost. And some people are collecting money, tenancy levies, or some other taxes. Because we live in a present era where governments are taxing everything to survive. But they won't look at the safety of the people they are taxing. Even buildings you collect money from. You cannot, all those ones, you want to put a block near your house just for erosion or something you want to build. Then before you know it, all these town development unions will immediately go and put a stop work. And then they will be talking about coming to the office to negotiate. They will mark with bold red. Why can't they see structurally deficient building, either by age and some other things, and mark red and say, abandon this property before that is a letter bomb, so that they would have done their work. You know, Nigerians can be difficult, but then it's more difficult when nobody even warn them and make sure that if you collect money when you and you force people to pay those taxes, then if you find out that where they are is not safe, you force them out. Put them in a camp, and then maybe before you finish forcing them out, they see the building collapse. They will come back and thank you later. But our government establishment are not, what they are interested in every facet of our life is collecting money, collect money, collect money. Some of this money are not accounted for. Some of them are contractors and touts that the government are using, brought them into power, they use them to compensate them for whatever role they played in during the election. You find them in all IGR, internally generated revenue collection. They give out contract. I hear in one state, they will only collecting from haulage trucks and all these trailers. There was somebody will negotiate 500 million in 1 month. There's a bid, they will do like bazaar. Charles will say, no, I'll pay 1 million. They will say 500,000, there's a 500 million. They say, gone. Charles, you have it. You pay ahead to government. I go to the street. Whatever you do with the people and how you collect the money, the government will look the other side. This is satanic and devilish. In a country that's democratic, nothing. This is the government. You want to raise money. Raise money. With the blood and sweat of people that you call your subject and the people you call, you need money. The IGR that government has used to get us to 64 years and even going, was it how they raised it? What kind of generation of leaders we have? What kind of human beings are there? If you don't have a simple idea of how you want to run government, you just go and kill and do everything, go to juju doctor, get into power. And the only thing is gara, Yahoo type of raising money. And who don't even care. Go to the streets in our urban centers in the southeast and see people wearing different kinds of uniform, no uniform, everywhere they pursue people. And I said, in which place do people look for something in the bag of somebody looking for something? And is it on this same country? Somebody said to you, though, you guys, take care.
Prescription, appeal court reserves judgment on IPOB's appeal. What do you have to say about it?
Why, for whatever reason, the court of competent jurisdiction is reserving. But, you know, the same court told us that judgment delayed is judgment denied. If it is true, and if they believe in that word, they have delayed and denied judgment to IPOB for too long. There's a word in Igbo land. If you want to kill the ram, kill the ram. If you don't want to kill the ram, leave it from the tenders. Let it go. Must you tie the ram down there? You are negotiating for here, delay, you postpone judgment, you do this. This one with this court will give and they set the man free. Another one will bring him back, keep him, and they were talking for how long? Playing with the life of Iko, and then this is sent Nigeria. You carry the corpse of somebody, it looks like you are carrying a log of wood, and they're looking for who will say it. It's not fair.
It's
not.
You just said something that struck my thinking. I mean, recently, somebody who was accused of having used Binance, this platform, to sabotage Nigerian economy, was released. And American president called Tinubu and was appreciating Tinubu for releasing Gabriel. That's the guy who they held because of the Binance fraud. And I'm thinking to myself, how about the same thing given to Nnamdi Kanu, really? Because it's lingered for so long, and the Court of Competent Jurisdiction have actually asked the government to release him.
It's not once, it's not two, it's not three, it's not four, and that's what we keep getting. And then they now find out that, look at what has brought to Southeast Nigeria. Insecurity. Everybody is hanging on this issue to bring problem to Southeast. And now we cannot even say who and who are the IPOB. Because everybody who does anything now, everybody says IPOB. But when it becomes clear that people have used this situation that is not fair to be unleashing, because that will tell, if the government, they have their intelligence force, if you know that nobody in IPOB will come and start shooting and killing people in Southeast, because they know that it's not people in Southeast that are holding Nnamdi Kanu. that is what nobody has asked for. So anything that happens is like, and then they kill themselves. But some people say that Southeast has been infiltrated and people are using this. So why not? If some people are calling for that, why not settle this Nnamdi Kalu's issue once and for all? Let's look at next issue. Who will come out and kill people either in form of known or unknown or whatever they call, whatever name. They still whether the security in Southeast will either improve or escalate. So we know where the problem is coming from. You're holding Nnamdi Kalu. That means you do not care about how the Southeasterners exist. And that's where, when I was talking about, if it's the North that made few noise in 2 weeks about tax reform and is withdrawn, have you listened to Southeast people, their opinion about Nnamdi Kalu? And you don't think from subsequent government till now, 8 years of Buhari, now you have 400 and almost 30-something days gone, and nobody thinks you can. And then the judgment said they delay the appeal.
Chris Maduka, thank you very much. That's the most we can take for the review. We keep on talking about these things. All right, we'll be moving ahead to the entertainment world to know what's happening in the world of entertainment. Do stick around. Welcome back. You see on to Signature Morning on Signature TV. People say sometimes that, they don't actually have or know any roles that the traditional rulers are playing in government. And we want to know because I believe traditional rulers have great roles to play in government and in governing of the people out there. So to talk about these constitutional roles for traditional rulers in government, we have His Royal Highness Chinedu Nwobo, the traditional ruler, joining us this morning. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning, my sister Belinda. How are you?
I'm fine. I will start with, wishing you a happy new month because this is beginning of November.
And I will send to you
Okay.
happy new month.
I wish you the
And I
best.
extend that to my brother and friend Charles.
Good to see you, sir.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, when we talk about constitutional rules, would you, can you bring it down to a layman understanding? What is constitutional rule and how does it relate to traditional rulers?
Yeah, eventually when we talk of constitutional rule, constitution is a framework, a people's framework, a guide, a document prepared by the people to guide what they do. Like you come to Nigeria, we have Nigerian Constitution of 1999 as amended. Down to ENUGU, we have the statute books like the laws of ENUGU state of Nigeria. You come down to communities, we have community embodiment of rules which guide the operations of official or office holders. Down the line, even down to the associations. Once we have a body of rules documented, in one hand you can have it and read through. That is what we call constitution. To bring it down to a layman's understanding, we can call it a roadmap. We can call it the directional, which gives you the powers to do what you can do. It is the constitution that will determine when somebody begins to act ultra-vires. You are now out of what you can do. So that is constitution. And once it assigns rules to different arms of an organization, a state or country, that rule is what we call the constitutional rule. What you are bound to do by law. That's the constitutional rule.
Okay. Right now we've established the meaning of constitutional rule, but I would want to ask, what roles do you think traditional rulers are meant to play in Nigeria's constitutional framework?
Eventually, they have not been assigned in the constitutional tier of governance, because in Nigeria we only have 3 tiers of governance. The national government, what we call the federal government of Nigeria. We have the state government and of course the local government. Leaving out the most important, which should be the 3rd tier, people who are very close to the people. Because whatever you call development is local, is localized at a place. It comes from the grassroots. Whatever you can say is crisis also is localized. It's happening at a place. And within that place, there is the closest government to that place, which is the traditional institution. When we talk of the traditional institution, it comprises even the town union, because they are the people. After the Igwe, then you get the town union within the locality. But eventually, we don't have a constitutional provision regarding them as a kind of political structure to govern Nigeria. So it's about the state. But of course, that should be the cradle of governance. They are the people who are mediating between the state and the government.
Right. Recently, just in continuation, so you can add this, recently there's this news about inculcating traditional rulers into governance. And some people have welcomed that development. Some others, took it with a pinch of salt a little bit because, again, how would it really work? They're thinking about it because we already have a local government authority. So the only issue would be the direct impact of how this particular inculcation would do in governance. How do you think it will play out? What sort of role do you think that the traditional ruler can play as in governance as it stands? What are those kinds of suggestions?
Mr. Charles, the suggestions are quite clear. What the traditional rulers are doing. Of course, they are doing it already, except to have a kind of constitutional provisions that will make it not just a puppet seat where they fear certain actions from certain authorities higher. It also has to be provided for so that it could be properly funded. Otherwise, the rules are already there. But unfortunately, some state governments that lack understanding frighten or threaten the traditional rulers in such a way that you don't just do what you should do. Let me take, for example, yes, we have a local government authority, but how local is the local government?
Okay.
That's the question. In a particular local government, you might be having up to 6 or more, even over 10, 20 communities within that area, and to be superintended by a particular man called the local government chairman. How would he know what is happening in different localities? He should work in tandem